Hello, and welcome to Esoteric Guardian. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most extravagant, bizarre, and controversial parties ever hosted, the 1972 Surrealist Ball by the Rothschild family. At the heart of this party lies a tapestry of dark symbolism, elite eccentricity, and conspiracies that have sparked decades of speculation. Was this just an artistic social gathering of the elite? Or, as some suggest, did it serve a much darker purpose? Perhaps even tied to occult rituals and secret societies like the Illuminati. As we peel back the layers of this night, we'll uncover the strange and unsettling details that keep people talking even 50 years later. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from Esoteric Guardian. Now, let's unravel the mystery of the Rothschilds' Surrealist Ball. The first indication that this event would be unlike any other was the invitation itself. In November 1972, just a month before the infamous party, Marie-Helene de Rothschild, wife of the powerful banker Guy de Rothschild, sent out an invitation that already dripped with surrealism and strangeness. Designed by none other than the famed surrealist Salvador Dali, this invitation was no ordinary piece of stationery. Imagine receiving a card with a background of soft white clouds set against a bright blue sky, an homage to the dreamlike, mind-bending paintings of René Magritte. But there was a twist. The text on the card was written completely backward, readable only with the aid of a mirror. It invited the world's most influential figures to the Surrealist Heads' dinner at Ferrières Castle, one of the Rothschild family's most isolated and mysterious properties. Why such a peculiar invitation? Was it simply part of the artistic theme, or did this backward writing suggest something darker, a hidden meaning meant only for those in the know? Some conspiracy theorists have pointed out that the backward text may symbolize duality, illusion, or even the deception practiced by the world's elites. As we'll soon see, the night would only become stranger. Ferrières Castle, the grand venue for the event, was more than just a luxurious backdrop. It was a symbol of the Rothschild family's wealth, influence, and for some, secrecy. Built in the mid-19th century, this sprawling estate, hidden deep in the French countryside, had a history of intrigue even before the night of the Surrealist Ball. During World War II, Ferrières was seized by Nazi forces and used as a command center. After the war, it returned to the Rothschild family, but rumors of dark dealings and hidden secrets persisted. Its isolated location, far from the public eye, only fueled the air of mystery surrounding it. On the night of December 12, 1972, Ferrières Castle was transformed. Guests arriving in their chauffeured cars were met with a vision straight out of a fever dream. The castle, bathed in orange light, appeared to be engulfed in flames. The use of lighting wasn't accidental. It set the stage for what was to come. The surreal, almost hellish glow suggested that what happened inside was no ordinary high society affair. Guests, including fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent, artist Salvador Dali, and actress Audrey Hepburn, were greeted not by the usual sounds of laughter and music, but by eerie silence. As they stepped onto the castle grounds, a black ribbon path stretched before them, marking the way forward. The night was only beginning, and already it felt more like a journey into a psychological labyrinth than a party. Upon entering the castle, attendees were met by figures clad in cat masks. Not just any masks, but masks that evoked both whimsy and menace. The figures played their parts well. Some even purred or sprawled on the floor, imitating feline behavior. Was this just a playful introduction to the surreal theme? Or was it another layer of symbolism, hinting at the idea of animalistic behavior, submission, or even the transformation of identities? As the guests followed the black ribbons, they were led through dimly lit, maze-like rooms. The atmosphere was unsettling, with no clear sense of where the evening was headed. Some rooms were decorated with grotesque imagery, while others held surrealist art installations, creating a sense of disorientation. The deeper the guests ventured, the more it felt like they were stepping into an alternate reality, one where normal social conventions were left behind. The journey through these rooms mirrored a common theme in occult rituals, a progression through stages of initiation, where participants are stripped of their previous identities and prepared to take on new, hidden roles. Whether the guests were aware of it or not, the night's symbolism was steeped in this process of transformation. The main hall, where the dinner was set to take place, was the pinnacle of the surrealist theme. Marie-Helene de Rothschild, the hostess, greeted her guests wearing a mask of a stag's head, adorned with tiers of diamond that seemed to weep from its eyes. Her husband, Guy de Rothschild, donned a dead nature hat, a bizarre and haunting choice that, like much of the evening, left attendees wondering what they had really walked into. Audrey Hepburn, known for her grace and elegance, wore one of the most striking costumes of the evening, a golden birdcage placed atop her head, complete with a canary inside. The symbolism of a caged bird, a creature meant to be free now imprisoned, struck many as a symbol of control and manipulation. Was this a veiled commentary on the elites themselves, their lives bound by their wealth and influence? Or was it a reference to something darker? Then, there was Baron Alexis de Rede, a well-known figure in French aristocracy, whose mask was designed to resemble the Mona Lisa, but with multiple faces. His costume seemed to embody the idea of illusion and multiplicity, perhaps another nod to the duality and hidden lives of the elite. It was as though, behind every mask, there was yet another layer of deception. These costumes weren't just odd, they carried a weight of esoteric symbolism. Conspiracy theorists have pointed to this night as evidence of an elite class deeply involved in secret societies, using surrealism not just as a form of art, but as a coded language to communicate their beliefs and rituals. From mind control to the manipulation of perception, the masks worn that night have been interpreted as visual metaphors for the alleged control the elite exert over the masses. The dinner itself was no less surreal or disturbing. Instead of traditional centerpieces, the tables were adorned with grotesque displays, mannequins with smeared red paint that resembled blood, dismembered baby dolls cradled by antique suits of armor, and turtles locked in symbolic combat, their shells illuminated by candlelight. Was this just another extension of the surrealist theme, or were these symbols of something much darker, sacrifice, violence, or even rituals? The dishes served to the guests bore names that were equally unsettling. Baked goat cheese in sorrow and exquisite corpse roll were just two of the many cryptically named plates. The connection to exquisite corpse, a game popular among surrealist artists, points to a deliberate blending of playfulness and morbidity. But some have interpreted these dishes as part of a larger, symbolic meal, a feast not just for the body, but for the spirit, with hidden meanings tied to ancient rites of power and control. During the dinner, Salvador Dali, always the center of attention, made his own surreal contribution. Seated in a chair shaped like a pair of lips, Dali shouted, "Admire Mae West," a nod to one of his most famous works. From a specific vantage point in the room, The furniture and artwork aligned to form the face of the actress, a masterstroke of surrealist design. But beneath this display of wit and eccentricity, some guests felt an underlying sense of dread. The room was a maze of illusions, much like the night itself. Nothing was what it seemed. Over time, the Rothschild Surrealist Ball of 1972 has shifted from being viewed as a mere artistic eccentricity to becoming an obsession in conspiracy theory circles. While some see it as nothing more than an extravagant display, others interpret it as a symbolic manifestation of power, a secret ceremony meant for something far darker. The most widespread theory suggests that it was not just a social gathering, but an initiation ritual linked to a secret society, possibly the Illuminati. The atmosphere of the party was filled with symbols that, according to conspiracy theorists, represent control, duality, and deception, concepts often associated with the elites, who are believed to manipulate the world from behind the scenes. The surrealist masks and costumes worn by the guests weren't simply artistic choices, but were laden with deeper meanings. In occult practices, masks often symbolize the true self, hidden behind a public facade. The figures present that night, Audrey Hepburn, Salvador Dali, Yves Saint Laurent, and other powerful individuals, wore masks that hinted at this idea of duality. Hepburn, for instance, with her golden birdcage headpiece, could be seen as a symbol of mental control and oppression. The image of the trapped bird might represent how the elites cage society, keeping it under their control without the public being aware. The symbolism wasn't limited to the costumes. Every detail of the event seemed carefully designed to convey a hidden message. Guests were led along a path marked by black ribbons that took them through the dark corridors of the castle. In the eyes of conspiracy theorists, this journey symbolized a kind of initiation, a metaphorical descent into the hidden mysteries of power and death. In occult traditions, such paths often represent transformation and the pursuit of enlightenment, a common structure in esoteric rituals. The true impact came when the guests entered the main hall. The grotesque decorations weren't merely surrealist accessories. They were loaded with disturbing meanings. A mannequin covered in a substance resembling blood, for example, evoked ideas of sacrifice and blood rituals, practices that many believe are fundamental to secret societies. The dismembered dolls held by suits of armor were not only unsettling, but also recalled symbols of the sacrifice of innocence, a recurring motif in conspiracy theories about the ritual power of the elites. At the dinner table, the presentation of the food further fed the sense that this was more than just a meal. The dish names, such as baked goat cheese in sorrow and exquisite corpse roll, echoed surrealist symbolism, but occult theorists believe that these names may have been veiled references to ritual practices where food plays a symbolic role in the transfer of power. In certain esoteric traditions, food is used as a vehicle for energy transfer or as part of rituals meant to grant spiritual power. The setting, the art, and the atmosphere all suggested a narrative of control and domination that deeply resonated with theories about the Illuminati, a supposed secret group believed to manipulate global events from the shadows. The Rothschilds, one of the wealthiest and most powerful families in the world, are frequently linked to such theories. Their vast financial influence is said to have enabled them to infiltrate governments, manipulate economies, and even orchestrate wars. The party, with its air of secrecy and elite guest list, has been seen as a symbol of this hidden power, where the rich and powerful gather to consolidate their control over the world. The location of the party, Ferrières Castle also added to the narrative. Owned by the Rothschilds since the 19th century, the castle was occupied by Nazi forces during World War II. Its dark history, combined with the family's wealth and influence, has led some to speculate that the castle was deliberately chosen for its symbolic connotations. Castles, in many cultures, represent power, authority, and exclusivity, but in the context of conspiracy theories, they also suggest secrecy and exclusion from the common people. Ferrières becomes, in this sense, a fortress not just of wealth, but of hidden power, a place where secrets are kept and where rituals, some believe, shape the destiny of the world. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this night is its alleged connection to Stanley Kubrick's 1999 film, Eyes Wide Shut. In the film, Tom Cruise's character stumbles upon a secret society engaging in strange and disturbing rituals, an event that mirrors the atmosphere of the Rothschild party. Some have speculated that Kubrick, who was known for his interest in hidden power structures, was inspired by the 1972 event. Model and actress Marissa Berenson, who attended the Rothschild ball, later worked with Kubrick on his film Barry Lyndon, leading to speculation that she may have shared details of the surreal party with him. While Kubrick never confirmed any direct connection, the parallels between his film and the Surrealist ball are difficult to ignore. Both depict an elite class engaging in secretive, ritualistic behavior, hidden behind masks, in secluded locations. In Eyes Wide Shut, the masks represent not just anonymity, but the hidden nature of the elite's lives, something the Rothschild party may have similarly suggested. The 1972 Rothschild Surrealist Ball remains one of the most enigmatic and disturbing events of modern history. Was it a simple celebration of surrealist art and creativity, or something more sinister? The grotesque imagery, eerie atmosphere, and cryptic symbolism continue to fuel speculation about the true nature of the event. For some, it was just a lavish display of eccentricity and the power of the elite. But for others, it stands as proof that the world's most powerful families operate behind closed doors, orchestrating not just parties, but perhaps even global events in secret. What do you think? Could this event have been an artistic experiment gone too far? Or does it suggest something more? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest from Esoteric Guardian. Until next time, stay curious and stay vigilant.